taken by allies. Allies have acquired the boost.
That's right, agents. Intimidate is dead. Or at least it will be after the next patch. I was admittedly bummed out when I first found out, as I have a lot of Intimidate builds. But instead of squeezing out every last minute of an allegedly overpowered talent, like everybody's doing with shields and InSync now, I decided to test out replacements for Intimidate. And in this video, I'm going to give my opinions on potential chest piece talents that you could use in your builds instead of Intimidate. Before we get into that though, if you've been enjoying my content, don't forget to subscribe to the Center for the Blind, and if you like watching shorts from time to time, head over to my new channel, A Blind Noob Shorts, as I will no longer be posting shorts on this channel. So back to Intimidate. In the upcoming patch, they basically decided to kill Intimidate. Instead of receiving 35% amplified damage whenever you have bonus armor, you'll now need to maintain bonus armor to ramp up the damage. Even at max stacks, you'll only get 28% damage, or 32% on perfect Intimidate. The whole point of Intimidate, usually run with Adrenaline Rush, is to put out a short burst of high damage before you lose your bonus armor. It's very effective on flanks, as you need to shoot your opponent before they shoot you to get that burst. It's just not worth it anymore now that we need to wait to get that damage boost. So the first potential replacement is Obliterate. Crits build stacks for up to 25% total weapon damage. The pros for this talent are, it can provide very high damage in extended fights. It's easy to build stacks and works at all ranges. The cons are, if you don't hit a crit for 5 seconds, you lose all your stacks. So even just putting on a medkit will almost guarantee you lose your stacks. You need 60% crit chance to maximize its effectiveness, and no stacks, no damage. So it has no burst potential at the start of a fight. In the end, it's probably a talent better suited for PvE, as in PvE, you'll usually have multiple enemies to build stacks on and maintain them for extended periods. Next up, Gunslinger. This talent relies on swapping your weapons for 20% total weapon damage. The pros are, it's good burst potential at the start of fights, also sustained damage for up to 10 seconds, and no range limitations. The cons are, swapping is not instant, so you sometimes need to preemptively swap your weapon before fights begin. If you swap too quickly, you lose the buff. Swapping doesn't allow for reloading, so after 2 swaps, you're left with 2 empty mags. And you need to get used to constantly swapping your weapons before and in fights. So I think it's pretty good for PvP if you can get used to always swapping, but it's not as good for PvE, as fights are usually extended, meaning you'll need to keep backing out of fights just to reload your weapons. Spotter. To get the most out of this, people usually combine it with the laser pointer attachment from the Tactician specialization. It works on long barrel ARs as well as the 45 round Vector. That being said, there is a gear set coming out, Heartbreaker, that also pulses enemies. So this will open some new doors on how Spotter can be used. So, the pros for Spotter, it gives vision to you and your allies, there's no range limitation, and basically anybody you shoot will give you 15% amplified damage with no gimmicks. And it amplifies both weapon and skill damage. The only con is that you need to run the Tactician specialization for the laser pointer, and you're limited to which guns you can use, but that will change with Heartbreaker. This is just a really good talent for both PvE and PvP. Spark relies on doing damage with a skill to get your boost. The pros are, the buff lasts for 15 seconds or 20 seconds with Perfect Spark, and it can be refreshed. It's pretty easy to proc and re-proc with the Striker Drone, or the Oxidizer Chem Launcher if that's more your thing. The Bleed Hive is another good option. The cons are, it limits which skills you can use, but with shields being nerfed into the ground, 98% of players will have an open skill slot, so that shouldn't be a problem. Another is, if you don't have time to use your skill, you miss your skill or it gets destroyed, no damage boost. All in all, The long buff time makes it a pretty good talent for both PvE and PvP. Finally, Ridgeway's Pride. This is already a very popular chess piece, as it's commonly used in a build with amazing synergy. The pros are heavy burst and sustained damage potential. It slows your targets, making them easier to hit. It has a built-in heal whenever you're within 15 meters of bleeding enemies, and because it's an exotic, you don't have to worry about getting one with the right rolls. It always comes with the same talent and attributes. The only real con is it has a damage and heal range of 15 meters. This is a great talent for aggressive PvP builds and not bad in PvE too. And last, and also least, are Unbreakable and Tardigrade. I would talk about these talents, but they are so overpowered and so overused that what's the point? Unbreakable has been meta for far too long, but yeah, let's nerf other talents instead. So those are the talents I would try out if you're looking for a replacement for Intimidate. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments below. I hope this video was helpful. Until next time, happy farming.